Iacocca is one of the biggest reasons we have great cars on our roads today. A celebrated entrepreneur, an inspirational CEO and a well-known author, Iacocca was known for popularizing the Ford brand by developing Ford Mustang and Pinto cars in the 60s. He also revived the Chrysler Corporation as a CEO in the 80s. He worked as the chairman and chief executive officer of the Chrysler Corporation from 1978 till 1992. The iconic leader died on July 2, 2019 at his home in Bel Air, at age 94, from Parkinson's disease-related complications. Here is his story. Iacocca was born on October 15, 1924 in Allentown, Pennsylvania, to Nicola Iacocca and Antonietta Parada. His parents were Italian immigrants, who moved to Pennsylvania and owned a small restaurant, named Jocko's Hot Dogs. Iacocca did his schooling from the Allentown High School and graduated in the year 1942. He later enrolled himself in the Lehigh University, which is located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. He graduated with a bachelor degree in industrial engineering. Following his graduation from the Lehigh University, Iacocca won the prestigious Wallace Memorial Fellowship and then enrolled himself in the Princeton University. He did his further studies in politics and plastics. After graduating from the Princeton University, Iacocca joined the Ford as an engineer in August 1946. He persuaded his seniors to move him to the sales and marketing section because he believed he would flourish more in that sector. He soon gained a national recognition after launching the 56 for 56 campaign, in which he started offering loans to interested buyers with a specific down payment and a monthly amount of $56 every month. He worked his way up through the company and was soon promoted to being the vice president and the general manager of the Ford. He even was part of designing several designs for the automobiles at Ford, some of which include the Ford Mustang and the Ford Escort. He also revived the Mercury brand in the late 1960s, including the introduction of the Mercury Cougar and Mercury Marquis. There were many other conceptual ideas which was not made into tangible reality by Ford. These included cars ultimately introduced by Chrysler, like the K car and the minivan. When Iacocca became the president of Ford Motor Company, he had a clash with Henry Ford II, which led to Iacocca being fired from the company on July 13, 1978. This despite the fact that the company showed an astounding $2 billion profit in the same year. The episode of Iacocca serving his resignation to Ford and then moving towards Chrysler makes for a dramatic read in his autobiography. He was courted to join the Chrysler Corporation when it was on the verge of bankruptcy. He started working to pick the company back and did his very best to make it profitable again. Knowing that the company would be out of business if it did not get substantial inflow of cash, Iacocca approached the United States Congress in 1979, and successfully procured a loan guarantee.
My excuse for coming to you is real simple. I'm running out of money, and I'm going to have to shut down.
Getting the guarantee was not easy. Chrysler had to take steps to reduce and say no to some prime projects like the turbine engine. Chrysler launched the K car line, like the Plymouth Reliant and Dodge Aries in 1981. Similar to the minivan that was going to follow, these compact cars were the design proposals that were actually rejected by Ford. The release of the cars were in time with the recession of 1980 to 1982. The small and affordable, efficient front-wheel drive cars were bought rapidly by nuclear families. At the same time, Iacocca also released the flagship model of the company, the Imperial. The new model included an all-digital dashboard and a fully electronic fuel injection. Chrysler introduced the minivan, in late 1983, which ruled the automobile industries in sales for the next 25 years. With the policies that Iacocca implemented and the introduction of minivans and K cars, the company was able to repay the government-backed loans 7 years earlier than the stipulated time.
But I can't tell you how good it is to see an assembly line producing American cars, and especially Chryslers. It's the last time I was in a plant, it was the Chrysler plant in Detroit, and it was during the campaign. I know the Chrysler employees here in Fenton have had a rough time the last few years, but I want you to know that and I really mean it, America is on the mend, and both the economy and Chrysler are on the comeback trail. Thank heaven I can say those words that auto workers love to hear, which is, auto sales are up. And that's having its effect. Now, Lee has told me that 1,700 of your fellow auto workers are being called back to their jobs when a second shift begins in July. 1,500 more will be coming back when Plant 2 resumes operation in the summer. And all in all, as he told you, Chrysler is investing $150 million to get these two facilities working again. The other auto companies are beginning to feel the recovery as well. You won't mind my mentioning them. Ford Hazelwood plant is bringing on another shift, and so is that other little company, General Motors, and they're calling back some employees. An economic recovery is something like a seedling. For a while it grows underground and you don't see it above ground, and then it shoots up and seems sprouting all over the place, and that's what we're starting to see around the nation right now. The shoots of an economic recovery are beginning to push up through the recession with its attending unemployment.
Iacocca acquired AMC in 1987, due to which the money-making Jeep came within the Chrysler fold. He was fascinated by the Jeep Grand Cherokee design of AMC, which ultimately released in 1992, the same year Iacocca retired. He led from the front, appearing in ad campaigns for Chrysler.
No cars are perfect, but these come pretty close. Drive them. See for yourself how quiet and smooth they are. If you don't agree they're the best Chrysler's ever made, the very best America has to offer at a sensible price, then I'm in the wrong business. Oh, one more thing. If you can find a better car, buy it.
Iacocca retired as president, chairman and CEO of Chrysler at the end of 1992. Iacocca's first marriage was to Mary McCleary on September 26, 1956. The couple had 2 children together, Catherine and Leah. Mary died in the year 1983 following her poor health due to diabetes. Iacocca fought for several people as an advocate who had the issues with not receiving proper treatment prior to and after his wife's death. Iacocca married twice later, but the marriages were short-lived. In his book, Where Have All the Leaders Gone?, he talks at length on leadership, especially when choosing a presidential candidate. He stated that leaders need to have these common characteristics, the 9 C's: curiosity, creativity, character, communication, conviction, competence, courage, charisma and common sense. Lee Iacocca had an estimated net worth of $100 million. The man responsible for making a brand out of Ford and giving a fresh lease of life to Chrysler, was one of the first CEOs to bring his salary to $1, when he was put in charge of reviving the debt-laden Chrysler, in the '70s. Lee Iacocca continues to live in our hearts and minds through his legacy. The New York Times in a book review about his autobiography wrote, "People both like him and respect his talents so he can attract other talented people like a magnet. And he has the all-important leadership quality of humility. Every mother who has sons or daughter headed for a business career will want to give them Iacocca for Christmas." Here are some great Lee Iacocca quotes.
The discipline of writing something down is the first step toward making it happen. The speed of the bus is the speed of the team. Management is nothing more than motivating other people. We are continually faced by great opportunities brilliantly disguised as insoluble problems. In times of great stress or adversity, it's always best to keep busy, to plow your anger and your energy into something positive. You can have brilliant ideas, but if you can't get them across, your ideas won't get you anywhere. My father always used to say that when you die, if you've got 5 real friends, then you've had a great life.